I'm going to give a brief statement about what was involved tonight. I'm going to introduce Mayor Dave Snow, and then I'll have a brief statement, or the Chief of Richmond, Michael Britt, B-R-I-T-T, will give a brief statement also. So again, we're here in this neighborhood. We've had a police-involved shooting at the corner here of 12th Street and C. The Indiana State Police has taken over this investigation, and preliminary investigation has shown that the Richmond officer made a traffic stop, again at the corner of 12th and C, during that time, during the traffic stop, the suspect drew a weapon and fired multiple shots at the officer. Assisting officers at the scene returned fire, and the suspect fled on foot. Again, our assisting officers from Richmond chased the suspect and apprehended him with no further incident. At this time, we want to convey to the public that there is only one suspect involved, and there are no other individuals involved that we are looking for. So there is no threat to the community at this time. Again, at this time I'm going to introduce Chief Michael Britt, and he's going to give some information about his officer that was involved. Chief.
Good evening, and thank you for being here to cover this event. This is indeed a terrible time for our city and our department. I want to confirm what the state police has already relayed to you. There was a traffic stop made in which one of my officers was seriously wounded. This officer is a 4-year veteran of the Richmond Police Department, a fantastic officer, recently elevated to a level where she was a canine handler. A lot of facts are yet to be determined. The thing that we do know for certain is my officer is in very critical condition, fighting for her life. Those of you who pray, I ask that you pray for her, as she could use it. The police department is obviously devastated. She's a fine officer, and we have a family environment here. But we hope the best. The Indiana State Police, as he said, is handling this investigation. They do an outstanding job on these type of things. Unfortunately, they've had to do too much of this recently, and that is unfortunate, truly. The officer's name is Sierra Burton. That is spelled S-E-A-R-A B-U-R-T-O-N, 4-year veteran of the Richmond Police Department. That's all I have to say at this moment. Thank you.
So again, at this time, I'd like to introduce Mayor Snow. He's going to make a comment.
This is a heavy evening in our community. Officer Burton has been a tremendous officer. She has supported this community. She's worked hard for this community, and tonight we need to return that to her. Tonight she needs our prayers. Our department needs our prayers, and I'm thankful that our officers were able to apprehend the assailant that committed this violence that just will not be tolerated in the city of Richmond. Tonight, our deepest thoughts, our deepest prayers are with Officer Burton and her family.
So again, we want to reiterate to the citizens that there is no threat at this time, and we really want to keep the Richmond Police Department in the community's thoughts tonight as we go forward. I'll open up for a couple of questions right now.
Well, why was the traffic stop initiated?
This investigation is still preliminary at this time, so we don't know exactly what the traffic stop is for at this time.
What part of the body was she shot in, and where was she taken?
Again, it's preliminary investigation. We're not going to release that information at this time. We just know that she is in serious condition at Ohio Hospital right now.
Was her fellow canine officer with her?
There were other officers there assisting, and there was no other officers that were injured at that time.
So the suspect is apprehended. Did they face any, or did they suffer any injuries or anything like that?
He did face some injuries. I do not know his condition at this time, but he was also transported to a local hospital.
So he was shot.
Yeah, I
we
believe
can't confirm that at this time. Yeah, it's awfully early.
he
in the
was shot.
investigation.
I don't know how many times or what or where, but
Chief, you had mentioned just a short while ago that, and I don't know if anyone wants to touch on this, that your department uniformed up. Everybody came out to support right after this with anything you could help with. Can any of you
Yes.
elaborate on that a little bit?
If I could, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I did mention that earlier, that it was very heartwarming to see. I believe my entire department came in, regardless of what they were doing, in support of their injured officer and to support each other. That's the thing that is most important. Is we've had an officer seriously injured physically, but I've also, this is a family environment, so I have some emotionally injured officers as well. So they are at the Richmond City building at this time, and it was very heartwarming to see the response by my entire department. And that's one of the things that we need to focus on in modern day law enforcement is the family concept, team concept. And I saw that tonight, and it made me feel good.
Chief, can you tell us anything about Officer Burton? Is she married? Does she have children, a family?
She was engaged to be married, I believe, next weekend. But yeah, other than that, she was a fine person. She was a fine officer.
How many officers here have been shot in the line of duty? Or is this the first one?
How far back do you want to go? I mean, it's we haven't had any recently. We've had a number of officers shot in the line of duty, but it's been a number of years, to the point where I can't tell you the date even when that happened. But it's happened, I think, once in my career, so it's not a common thing.
How long have you been here?
I've been here about 28 years now.
all right, we're gonna wrap this up. I'll just end with again to kind of piggyback off what the chief said. The overwhelming support from the community as we've been working this scene has been very appreciative. We also know that this is an ongoing investigation, and we want to reach out to the public if they have any kind of information that would assist us with this investigation, that they should call the Indiana State Police, and we'll pass that on to our detectives. So, thank
Are there
you.
going to be any more updates tonight?
There will possibly be further updates later.